At first glance, many might confuse Japan's Mitsubishi F-2 with the American F-16. The similarities in shape and design are undeniable, and for years, even aviation enthusiasts mistook one for the other. But beneath this resemblance lies a fascinating story of ambition, politics, and technological innovation that makes the F-2 a completely unique aircraft in its own right. To understand how Japan ended up creating this fighter, we need to travel back to the late 1980s. At the time, the Japanese Air Self-Defense Force already possessed the F-15J, a powerful variant of the American F-15 Eagle built under license in Japan. The F-15J gave Japan world-class air superiority capabilities, but it lacked a complementary aircraft that could handle multiple roles. In particular, Japan needed a support fighter that could perform air-to-ground strikes, maritime missions, and defensive patrols. Having successfully assembled their own F-15s and developed the Mitsubishi F-1, Japan believed it could design a new aircraft indigenously. Mitsubishi proposed a delta-wing jet with canards, while Kawasaki suggested something closer to the American F-A-18 Hornet. These ideas looked promising, but the reality soon set in. The cost would be astronomical, and Japan still lacked key technologies in avionics, radar, and composites to complete such a project alone. Recognizing this, Tokyo turned to international partners. Europe offered the Panavia Tornado, but its design philosophy did not align with Japan's island defense strategy. The United States, on the other hand, saw a golden opportunity to deepen military ties with Japan. Washington proposed a joint development program based on the F-16 or F-A-18. Around this time, General Dynamics was testing the Agile Falcon, a special variant of the F-16 with larger wings and improved performance. Though unsuitable for the U.S. Air Force, it was almost perfect for Japan's requirements. And so the F-2 program was born, a joint project led by Mitsubishi, supported by Kawasaki and General Dynamics. But it would be far more than just an F-16 copy. In fact, nearly 95% of its components and designs were different from the American fighter, making the F-2 essentially a new aircraft disguised in familiar lines. The F-2's modifications were significant. Its fuselage was slightly longer, but its wing area was enlarged by 25%, allowing 2 extra hardpoints for weapons. The larger wings also increased fuel capacity, extending combat range by about 25%, a critical advantage for a country surrounded by ocean. With a maximum takeoff weight of 20 tons compared to the F-16's 19 tons, the F-2 could carry heavier payloads, including Japan's indigenous ASM-1, ASM-2, and later ASM-3 anti-ship missiles. The last of these is a supersonic ramjet-powered weapon with a range exceeding 400 kilometers, capable of threatening both ships and land targets. Technologically, the F-2 was groundbreaking. It became the first production aircraft in the world to feature an AESA radar, years before the American F-22 Raptor. This radar provided faster scanning, improved jamming resistance, and low probability of intercept modes, putting Japan ahead of most of the world in radar technology at the time. The aircraft also used advanced composites to reduce radar signature, a redesigned canopy for better protection, and large multifunction LCD displays in its cockpit, cutting-edge features in the 1990s. But the F-2 story was not only about engineering. It was also shaped by politics and international tension. After a scandal involving Japanese firms transferring sensitive technology to the Soviet Union, many in the U.S. Congress opposed giving Japan access to advanced military systems. The program nearly collapsed under political pressure, but President Ronald Reagan personally supported it, arguing that Japan's strength was essential for countering the Soviet Union. Later, President George H.W. Bush's administration imposed conditions that restricted Japan's access to U.S. technologies, while requiring Japan to share its own innovations with America. This created resentment in Tokyo, but Japan continued the program, determined to prove itself as a leading aerospace power. Operationally, the F-2 became a specialized maritime strike fighter. Japan's defense doctrine emphasizes securing its surrounding waters, where potential adversaries, particularly the Soviet Union at the time, and later China and Russia, pose threats with submarines and naval fleets. The F-2's long-range, powerful anti-ship weapons and advanced radar made it a perfect fit for this mission. However, it was less versatile than modern multi-role fighters. It could not perform suppression of enemy air defense missions and lacked access to NATO's Link 16 network, limiting its integration with Allied forces. Despite these limitations, the F-2 played an important role in Japan's defense. It carried advanced domestic missiles such as the AAM-3 and AAM-5, comparable to American Sidewinders, and the AAM-4B, Japan's equivalent of the AMRAAM. Notably, the AAM-4B was the first air-to-air missile in the world to use an ASA seeker, further showcasing Japan's technological ingenuity. Originally, Japan planned to build over 140 F-2s, but budget constraints and political challenges reduced the total to just 94 aircraft. Production was shared 60-40 between Japan and the United States, with Kawasaki responsible for building the fuselage's midsection. The program officially ended in 2011, but not before disaster struck. The massive Tohoku earthquake and tsunami that year damaged 18 F-2s. Although 13 were eventually repaired and returned to service, 5 were lost forever. Throughout its service, the F-2 has participated in numerous intercept missions. In 2013, for example, Japanese F-2s scrambled to intercept Russian Su-27s and reconnaissance aircraft entering Japan's airspace. These missions demonstrated the fighter's readiness and reliability in real-world defense scenarios. Today, the Mitsubishi F-2 remains in active service and is expected to continue flying until the 2030s. Although Japan has since adopted the F-35 and is working on a sixth-generation fighter program, the F-2 holds a special place in aviation history. It symbolizes Japan's determination to blend foreign cooperation with domestic innovation. And its pioneering technologies, particularly its radar, left a lasting impact on modern fighter design. In the end, the F-2 is far more than just another F-16. It is a uniquely Japanese aircraft tailored to the nation's defense needs, shaped by its political struggles and equipped with technologies that once placed it at the forefront of aviation innovation. For all its challenges and limited production numbers, the Mitsubishi F-2 stands as one of the most distinctive fighters of the modern era.